Hey guys, before this video starts, please leave a like and subscribe. You guys have been going absolutely crazy with the support lately, and I would appreciate if you could keep it up so I could hit 1,000 by the end of the year. 50 likes and I'll make a video like this one on Oda. Anyway, time for the video. When I was given a platform to make YouTube videos and talk about one of my passions being anime, one thing I had always set my mind on doing was expanding my horizon and learning. The excitement of making videos isn't fully about just producing the video now. I am excited to learn more about one of my favorite hobbies and share what I learned with you guys. You can see this in videos like my Vinland Saga one or my Corpse Party one. All of this is to say that I am very excited to be delving in, learning more, and sharing what I've learned about my favorite mangaka of all time, Yoshihiro Togashi. The information stated in this video will be included in the description. If I could find a valid or reliable source for any of the stuff I read, I included it in my video. Now, I will share what I have learned. Togashi was born April 27th, 1966 in the Yamagata Prefecture in Japan. More specifically, he was born in the city of Shinjo. His parents were owners of a paper business. This shop was so successful that it's still being ran today. Not a lot is known about his early years that have a viable source, so I'll jump ahead to his elementary school years, where it is said that his love for manga, art, and his own drawing started to develop. In his first or second year of elementary school, he would casually draw his own manga. Jumping ahead to high school, Togashi had decided to join his school's fine arts club, while also getting more advanced in both his art and story building in doing so. If I had to guess, this is around the time he must have started his creation of manga more seriously and started coming up with ideas later on down the line. Yu Yu Hakusho is based on an in-school delinquent and has a lot of themes about growing up and more minimal themes and scenes of Yusuke going to school, which I think were stemmed from Togashi's own experience in school. Not to say he's a delinquent, but the atmosphere might have been placed in his head when he was a lot younger. Togashi graduated from high school with what I would assume were pretty good grades because he got into Yamagata University, which I couldn't find 80s to 90s data on, but in 2022, it's the 65th ranked Japanese university and generally a well-respected school. He started college in the year 1984 and went into study to be a teacher. He still was creating manga as a passion, but he wasn't planning on it becoming his main career. It was more of a hobby at the time that he would ideally do if he could. Kinda like me with YouTube. Anyway, all the short story or manga he would make, he would end up publishing to magazines like Weekly Young Jump, which was produced by Shueisha, and no, it's not Shonen Jump, it's ironically a more seinen or adult style of shonen manga, which led him to receiving 2 awards and helped him make a name for himself to bigger publishers. The awards he received were the Tezuka Award, which is prestigious for new manga artists, which he earned from his manga titled Butsu Be Straight, and an honorable mention in Shueisha's magazine for his manga titled Jura no Mizuki. And damn, this is a lot of manga to be making in such a short amount of time. I wish he would apply this to Hunter x Hunter still. Around this time is when he realized he could make manga and short stories into a viable and lucrative career for himself, which became his main focus for a career. During his final year of college, Togashi was contacted by an editor of Shonen Jump who wanted him to move to Tokyo to publish manga, which he accepted and started making short stories for the company. When he graduated in 1988, he no longer wanted to be a teacher and instead made his main focus on manga. Togashi at this point had already made a pretty good name for himself in the manga scene and was working for one of the biggest manga companies in the world. His earliest series included things like I'm Not Afraid of the World, which was a bunch of comedic short stories, and in 1989 he started this series called An Ill-Tempered Cupid in Heaven, which was 4 volumes long about a human boy and a devil girl's love story. His next series is kind of underground, so I'm not sure many of you have heard of it. In 1990, he made a small series that is known as Yu Yu Hakusho, which was based on his own interest in supernatural and horror films. He used this thinking to make the spirits, ghosts, and demons that Yusuke fights against. Yusuke, who is the protagonist, dies in the first episode and is brought back to life to be a spirit detective. Togashi saw his first amount of huge success in the manga scene before he was very well known, but this manga series catapulted him to being one of the most well-known mangakas in Shonen Jump, especially in a time where anime was nowhere near its peak popularity. The manga went on for 175 chapters and sold over 50 million copies, which earned Togashi the Shogakukan Award, which is the oldest and one of the most prestigious anime awards in 1994. In this time, he also received his first anime adaptation, which was for Yu Yu Hakusho, and his career was certainly on an upward trajectory. But near the end of Yu Yu Hakusho is when a recurring theme in Togashi's career started to appear, which he is well known for to this day, which is hiatus. The first one happened in 1994. He would end up finishing Yu Yu Hakusho, but one of his biggest regrets is how he finished it, which is certainly one of the most disappointing endings of a popular anime that I have ever seen. Togashi began to lose motivation to make Yu Yu Hakusho and ended the popular series in a very abrupt way that skipped an entire tournament arc. He did this because he wanted to try something new. This was of course not received very well by Shonen Jump because it was one of their biggest series at the time, but he did end Yu Yu Hakusho when he wanted to. Another reason he wanted to end his vastly successful series was the stress and bad conditions that he had to put up with while publishing at Weekly Shonen Jump. This also caused him to have bad sleep patterns and chest pain. I wish this was talked about more as well when people bring up hiatuses. Instead of just shitting on mangakas, I think we should bring up their actual health and working conditions because it seems kind of bad. Togashi himself had stated that he wanted to end Yu Yu Hakusho because of his own selfishness and apologized later on. After the abrupt ending of Togashi's biggest series ever up until that point, he began his new series, Level L, which was about an alien who lands on Earth and starts living with a college baseball player, and tries his best to avoid violence with the people who are hunting him. It was a comedy series which is actually designed off of Togashi's own hometown, Shinjo. The anime ran from 1995 to 97 and was given an anime in 2011. While researching this topic, I came across a well put together article by an Amino user named Starlight in the Hunter x Hunter Amino community, who said an idea that I thought to be interesting. In a lot of his works, mainly Hunter x Hunter with the pitching analogy and Level E with the main protagonist, baseball has some sort of presence within his shows no matter how minute the detail. This user seems to think that around college is when Togashi started to like baseball due to its popularity in Japan around his years of schooling. I just thought this was a cool idea and wanted to credit that user. Back to the regular information. In 1997, while Togashi was at another mangaka's party, which had a lot of employees of Shonen Jump, he met Naoko Tekuichi, who is the creator of another huge series known as Sailor Moon. They hit it off at the party and began to go on dates shortly after. They got into a relationship which lasted 1 to 2 years before they ended up getting married on January 6, 1999. Between this period, on March 16, 1998, he started the serialization of my favorite series of all time and his most popular and well-received one of all time, Hunter x Hunter. It was received very well by Shonen Jump readers and began receiving volumes later in 1998. This series is still going on to this day, currently having 380 chapters as I record this video, with 10 more to be expected via Togashi's Twitter. Let me talk about his Twitter, by the way, because he gained over 2 million followers in 72 hours, making him the world's most followed mangaka. Hunter x Hunter has suffered from years of hiatuses due to the author's health and events in Togashi's life that have gotten between the production of this amazing manga. Oh, also, it has the best power system in anime, so fight me about that. Hunter x Hunter received an anime adaptation that spans 61 episodes in 1999, produced by Nippon Animation, which started airing on October 16th, 1999 and ended of March of 2001. In 2001, Togashi also had his first son with Naoki, who we don't know the name of. In 2008, they had their second child, which has not had its gender or name released to the public. In 2011, Madhouse redid Hunter x Hunter as an anime, which had 148 episodes and stopped being produced in 2014 due to the lack of content Hunter x Hunter experienced. Hunter x Hunter was given 2 movies in 2013, being Phantom Rogue and Last Mission, which were both released in Japan around the apex of Hunter x Hunter's popularity. And of course, there's a live-action film for Yu Yu Hakusho coming, which just looks fantastic. Togashi was a super interesting person to learn about, and although not a lot of information is readily available about him, I find his rise to the top to be very cool. One thing that I haven't mentioned thus far is that he and his wife actually created a children's book that is titled Ubu nu Tochibo nu. And I definitely just butchered that. Anyway, this video is so fun to make, and I am betting you guys like to learn right alongside me as well. I also want to end this video saying one of my favorite quotes that has come out of Hunter x Hunter that helps me stay motivated and focus on the now instead of my future. In volume 32 of Hunter x Hunter, Jing Freak states, "You should enjoy the little detours to the fullest, because that's where you'll find the things more important than what you actually want." Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want one on Oda next week, get this video to 50 likes. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.